So you're getting access to a Rolodex of
Yeah.
people, right? It's probably I'm aging myself saying that, right? But like
Yeah.
their network of people. The other thing, the line I like is like, I write a check for speed.
Yes.
So like, how do I speed up the process?
Yes.
Pay the 20 bands,
Yeah.
pay the 50 stacks, pay the 100. It needs to be scary. I need to feel it.
Yeah.
I need to be like, oh fuck. So like, damn it. So I gotta pay 100 stacks, and then every time I fly out, it's on my dime. Then I gotta leave my business and everything for 2 weeks in Africa and shit don't work, and my family, and explain it to them. So yeah, the pressure, the oh shit.
Yeah.
Is this the right thing? Just say yes, fuck. So what happens in all that too, it's not just information. That experience that put me through is like, now I've done it.
Yeah.
Now I know how to move like that. It preps me, gets me ready and primed for the bigger things coming.
Let's go. We're live. Another episode of Adversity Kings. We got Mr. Filipe Santos, right?
What's going on, man?
How's it going, bro?
Going fucking great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll give you a little bit of an introduction. So from everything that I studied so far, you were born, is it Jersey? Correct?
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was going to say Jersey, New York.
Jersey,
I
yeah,
label
yeah.
everybody in that northeastern area as like New Yorkers.
We're all the same, very territorial. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I was born literally 10 minutes outside New York City in Newark.
Yeah.
But you could see the city from, I grew up with the Twin Towers at the time and the train going into the city. So right there, the same, same area.
Let's go, bro. So a little bit of a rough past we'll dive into as well. And then from there, just kind of a wake up, a revival. And you spent the last decade or plus, it looks like, building yourself into a massive entrepreneur, maybe a serial entrepreneur. And we'll dive into the multiple things that you're invested into, you've built, and have done incredible things. I see the exotic cars. I see, more importantly, the business. I think Miami and everybody, they love the materials. But behind that, legitimate businesses, the self-development, the people that you've helped. It's incredible to see your story and everything that you've bounced back from, because I think I saw you put something on your story the other day that it's something in regard to like the adversity being a blessing. Like you get to have adversity. You don't have to have it.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean? You could just fucking be dead. You know what I mean? Like, what's the alternative? So I'm excited to rip this podcast. We met on the yacht. You know what I mean? Shout out Mr. Spofford connecting us. He's gonna hate that when I say that
Eric,
shit.
Man,
Shout out Eric.
Guy's the fucking connector, bro.
He's a dog,
great
man.
guy, man.
Let's go. So let's take it from the very beginning. Where were you born and raised?
So a little bit about me. Like I said, I was born in Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
My parents are Portuguese immigrants. They came from Portugal.
And you're setting up a Portugal trip.
Yeah, I'm setting that up. Yeah. So the community was very Portuguese over there. By the time I was like 5, I moved out to the next town. To me, it was like the suburbs. Like looking back on it now, it was straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hood.
Yeah.
Parents were good working class parents. They left me by myself because I had to work back then. Back then in the 80s and 90s, they weren't paying for babysitters.
Yeah.
So, kind of like let me to run the streets a little bit by myself.
Yeah. You grew up on that Biggie rap. Biggie Smalls and shit like that.
Wu-Tang, all
Wu-Tang.
that 90s era.
The music was so much better than the music today.
No, listen, it was definitely a soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
So I went to like private school, right? Like,
Okay.
because I was getting in trouble a lot. And so we did that. And then like I skated a lot. I played basketball.
Yeah.
And I skateboarded, right? So skateboarding was a big influence on my life.
What got you into skating?
I rode BMX bikes too.
Yeah.
There was a movie back then. It was called Rad. If anybody's seen, if not,
Sounds
go look
familiar.
at it. Fucking cool, 80s. And they were doing bike tricks and shit like that. Right?
Yeah.
And skating Tony Hawk and stuff like that when he first started.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was more like a creative expression I could have.
Yeah.
With being different, not being the same, and I like that like California lifestyle and surfer. So.
Did you ever watch Robin Big?
Yeah, of
Rob
course.
Dyrdek.
Yeah, that guy is a fucking genius.
Dyrdek?
You ever listen to him?
Yeah,
He's
bro.
fucking dialed.
His
in.
evolution has been incredible. Dude has been locked in since I was like 8 years old watching him with Robin Big. He's been locked in.
But now, like, listen, he's so locked in that sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what he's fucking like. He's so advanced, and not in a bad way. He's just his time management. I know we're going off a little bit. His time management and everything. Like, I do pay attention to it. Those are some of my measuring sticks in the sense of people I look up to. Not necessarily that I want that exactly, but like I could appreciate it and understand the value. And he's got a goal. He knows exactly where he wants to go.
Locked in.
Skater.
Skater, bro. That's crazy. That's super. I remember watching Robin Big growing up, the Bulldogs. We had Bulldogs growing up, and I was like, it didn't make sense at that point because even my mom and I, we would watch. He started doing that comedy show or shit where they would like.
Yeah, it was like America's Funniest Home Ridiculousness.
Ridiculousness, dude, and like, dude, that was. It's cool to see like everything he's evolved, into over the time, but. Okay, so when did you start getting in trouble in school? Was it middle school, elementary?
So, no, listen, right away, I remember I moved. I remember I went to like kindergarten. It's one of my earliest memories.
Yeah.
And I stole a little Hot Wheels car. Like I just wanted it. You know what I mean? The reason I remember is because they called my dad in to come from work. And back then, like, you could beat your kids, right? So he didn't do it there.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll take care of it. And I just remember that might have been my first beating.
Yeah.
But something happened there where like I stole a little Hot Wheel car, and there was the thrill of stealing it. I might have even not knowingly got more attention and love from my dad doing something like that. So that escalated into being a little klepto too when I was younger.
That makes sense.
Just like taking little shit and getting that high from it.
I think every young person, I think I've seen studies that said young girls steal more than even young boys. I swear to God, like the lipstick.
I know some, and I'm like, they're fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And you don't
especially
even
Miami.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So, what did high school look like for you?
So high school, I went to a private school too. But then
Was it like nuns?
Well, there was brothers. There was nuns at the other one, and then this one it's called brothers. You know what I mean? But it was a prep school. It was good. So like, just like education wise, I was highly intelligent.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do the work. Like I got very bored. So that's why I also got in trouble. I was always trying to do stuff. So back then you would like, I don't know how schools now, but you would sit there. This is what you got to do. I'd finish first. I'd be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Just like, and you start getting into shit. So, cool. Went to high school and skated a lot. Grew out my hair. It was like the grunge era. I was in New York City all the time skating. There was a movie called Kids, hanging out with those guys. Rosario Dawson and Chloe Sevigny, they became great actresses. So I was into that, drinking 40s, like a Wu-Tang fucking video or some shit. Those were kind of like my role models. So I started getting in trouble. Not with the law so much, but just like got kicked out of school, went to public school, started drinking, started smoking weed, partying clubs, and then obviously everybody went home and I didn't want to go home.
When did you get the first tat?
My first tat? Around that era, I think like 95 or something.
95?
Like 16 or 17.
Yeah. What was your first tat?
It was a Chinese symbol that I thought meant money.
Yeah?
I don't know. It's covered up. It's like somewhere over here.
I got a bunch of them.
Tattoos also back then was like, you were either in jail, right?
Oh,
or
1,000%.
like, it was just a street or a sailor or criminal. You know what I mean? It wasn't like what it is today, right? It's definitely grown. And I kind of wanted to be on the fringes. I've always wanted to be like, I didn't know, like a 1%er, right? And I don't mean just, I was a 1%er biker too, but like, it was just like, I just wanted to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that you could do it successfully a different way.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like against authority, against teachers, against cops. You know what I mean? Just like keep pushing, not knowing there's consequence. Well, I knew, but just either not caring or that's what it was. But it was definitely like a lifestyle that I was hooked on.
When did you graduate high school?
96.
96, you graduated high school. Did you do college? What did it look like after
I did
high
a
school?
tour of the community colleges in the area. Yeah. I wanted to be an architect, right?
Okay.
So like I was in, I wanted to be an architect. So I was in advanced honor class. Even though I was fucking up, I think they put me there too to keep away from the other kids, right? So like advanced honors, advanced placement, honors classes, physics and shit like that. I liked numbers. I liked, you know what I mean? Putting stuff together. My grades weren't good enough to go, so I did the community college.
Yeah.
But like, I started doing drugs and from like coke and just like having fun, and then I started doing heroin with some friends, not knowing like the consequences of it.
Yeah.
And then automatically, that was 96. By 97, I think I was getting locked up. I was detoxes, like I was going down that fucking route really quick.
What was your relationship with your parents when you start getting into the hardcore drugs and you start getting locked up?
Listen, my parents supported me. At first, they're like, cool, they'll bail me out of jail. They'll take care of me. After a while, they kind of like left me there because they knew I was safe when I was going to jail.
Yeah.
They could sleep at night. I wasn't terrorizing them. I wasn't terrorizing everybody else. To this day, like my parents, I took them hostage.
Yeah.
My parents did the best job with the information and the tools that they knew how to.
Yeah. Who were you closest with growing up?
Well, I had no. What do you mean, like parents or
Just anybody. Like, was there somebody that like you can think back and like you had a vital relationship with that kind of helped shape like your psychology and how you operate now?
So I had no brothers and sisters. I'm an only child, right?
Okay.
So like I said, my parents worked all the time.
Yes.
And there was a park in front of my house. Like, listen, it was like working class, right?
Yeah.
Poor working class. Everybody's parents. So I hung out across the street. So my older brothers were people that were either playing ball or getting in trouble or drugs, and there wasn't too many gangs, but cliques, right?
Yeah.
And that's who I wanted attention for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Was there just multiple groups? Was there a person in particular like, man, that was my dog, that was my girl?
Listen, I had friends that like, you know how it is. You go through periods of times. Like I remember like my best friend at the time, this kid Anthony, and like he's a year younger than me. We skated together, started getting high together, partied together, jailed together. Like I wouldn't say like I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know what that was. I didn't have too many role models besides ones that were just there.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about that. You know, I was just and at that point, I was in survival mode. I was in the beginning stages of like I was getting high all the time. I was an addict, but you know, it took like another decade and change to like really.
How long? Yeah. So how long did the addiction phase last for you?
So, you know, it escalated very quickly for me because, you know, I almost found like I thought I found what I was looking for, especially when I started doing heroin. Yeah. Because I was like, at first when you do it, it's like it's orgasmic. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're just like the best feeling in the world. I hate fucking saying it because people might hear that, but it was. And so now it's like cool. I could talk to girls, I could bop. You know what I mean? You just have that cadence with you. Yeah. And eventually, obviously, that turned dark, right? And that was like robbing, stealing, going to jail, getting chased by cops, getting shot at, stolen cars, just like in that fucking lifestyle. Hanging out in the projects. I don't fucking live in the projects, right? Yeah. I didn't want to leave because it was more like, I gotta go. I'm gonna come back anyway. Why not fucking stay here? Yeah. Murders and shit. Not me doing murders, but like that's just what happens in those fucking projects, right? Yeah. I got so used to it that I liked it. I liked being in the mix and knowing and the gangs and all that shit. And so that lasted. Look, in total, it was like I got clean 2011. So 95, 2011. What is that? 16 years or some shit like that. Yeah. But like intense, fucking shooting dope. You know what I mean? Like everything.
When did you obviously 2011, 2010 you start waking up, but like what was the peak, the climax? Was there a point where you just kind of had like an eye-opening experience of like, man, I can't keep living like this?
No. Right? Yeah. But I'm gonna give you an explanation with that. I started getting really tired. By tired, like listen, I wasn't gonna kill myself on purpose. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was like, I can't fucking die. You know what I mean? Not that I wanted to, but I was like, damn, I don't want to be one of these 50, 60-year-old zombies walking down the fucking street. I just don't, like, it's a lot of work. Getting high is a fucking lot of work. Yeah. It's a full-time job with overtime. The benefits are shitty. The pay is shitty. You know what I mean? Like, your boss sucks. Yeah. You know, the shifts you get, you don't get to choose. It blows. And so the biggest thing is, like, I had this big hole in me, like my spirit, and I was like, bro, like, I'm going to be a zombie forever. I was more scared of that, like, the foreverness of it. Yeah. My son was born in 2011. He was born addicted, right? His mom was my running partner, and so like he was born addicted, so he had to stay in the hospital. That didn't get me clean, right? Yeah. Like it sucked and everything, but I'm a full-blown addict. Like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But a few months after, so he was born June, in November is when I got clean. But I was already like getting tired of the whole shit. I was going to a methadone center every day to get my fucking to get off E and then still get high. And I saw a couple dudes that I knew that were clean, and I didn't even believe they were clean. Like that's how fucked up. And you know, they told me what they were doing. They're going to NA meetings, right? And they're like, come. And I was going for a while, and I'm like, how'd you do it? You know what I mean? And he just explained to me. Really, he's like, listen, if you want what I have, you got to do what I did. And I put my hand in his back pocket, almost literally. And I'm like, bro, just tell me what to do. And once I gave up, right, that's when I got 1 day clean, and then 60, 90, a year. And then you start learning, you know, start learning new skills and becoming something different. But like,
Yeah.
it took that long for me to get to that spot right there.
And I'm trying to think how to like phrase it without it, like, it seeming like too comical off of that piece of your life.
Oh, you can make it. Listen, I laugh at it sometimes. Like, damn, I went through some shit.
Have you watched Breaking Bad?
I know it. I don't watch TV too much.
Yeah.
I know it. My brother-in-law lives in Albuquerque, so I fucking drove by the house and everything.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, how accurate from what you've heard?
Yeah.
How accurate is that shit in comparison to like the real being in that environment, that situation?
Listen, it gives a portrayal, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like the stories and experience I have, even if I write them down, like I remember being shot at by fucking cops.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing crazy shit just because I'm there and I'm running away, cars and shit, them coming, like jumping out of windows. My best friend at the time OD'd, and I'm in the projects on the top floor. I got to drag his fucking limp ass fucking body, like dead weight, walk across. I had a car, bring him to the hospital. He survived.
Yeah.
But I'm dragging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
So are there portrayals of it? But just imagine
Being
Groundhog's Day every day.
Yeah.
Multiple times a day. You're doing that shit.
Yeah.
For decades. Like I woke up literally, I was 32, I think, when I got clean, right? 32, 33. And I had the mentality of a 16-year-old, which is almost like kind of because it stunted it. Like I was almost in a coma.
Yeah.
Now I'm clean and I'm starting to get feelings back and all this shit, right? Like, I'm like, cool, I'm going to snowboard again because I always snowboard. I loved it. You start talking to girls. Like, I'm 16.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, I have to learn how to talk to people, how to deal with everything, man.
I don't know where I heard that before. Is that like medically proven that like once you start using hardcore drugs, you like stop mentally developing, and then once you're clean, it's almost like you pick back up where you left off?
Absolutely. So like, so on the other side of that, right? If you relapse, they say you pick up where you last left off. So you don't like get to start all over from zero. You know what I mean? You might the first couple of days. That's why I've seen people that pick up and it's like automatically you're like, damn, that fucking escalated quickly because you know where you need to go already.
Yeah.
You can't like unlearn certain things. But yeah, listen, there's some science behind it. I believe most of it is true, but like I had a full-time job procuring drugs, raising capital. It's like a business, right?
Yeah.
Raising capital, executing, making sure I deliver, making sure I get the results. You don't learn. Like you catch shit here and there. It's not like you're stupid and you're a fucking dummy. You learn street skills.
Yeah.
You don't learn social skills. You don't know how to advance, and your brain does get stunted.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of people when they get clean too. So that's the follow up. Like I got clean, and my date's November 4th, 2011, right? So I got clean, and at first I just wanted a job. I just wanted a car, a girl, like basic shit. You know what I mean? Because I was like, that's the biggest jump from like a junkie to that. People don't see it, but like that's the biggest fucking come up ever.
Yeah.
I don't have the gorilla on my back anymore.
Yeah.
Once I got that, I also knew when I got clean, I didn't want to be miserable.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, there's dry drunk. Like for that, I'll go get high again. I did not want to fucking do that. So I knew I wanted some happiness, like real fucking joy in my life. So cool. I got clean. I'm clean a couple of years. Got a job. Got full custody of my son. Everything's going good. But there was still something missing, and that's when I saw a couple other people, and they were doing some personal development in their lives, right? And that's when I was like, the question marks, like, what's he doing different that nobody else is? And this is like, what, 2013, 14? And so that's where it switched. I asked my buddy, what are you doing? And he's like, listen, he's reading books. He's doing a book giveaway on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, whoever hits me up with a good reason, it's 2014, I'm giving away 2 books, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Right now they're like classics, right?
Yeah.
They were already. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
I'm from the hood. I had no idea what the fuck that was. Plus, I really don't like to read.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. I read those books, and it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with your mindset and how you look at stuff and your perspective. And those 2 books just like shifted. I still read them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Shifted and changed my way of thinking and processing stuff. So then I seen him doing some other stuff, and I'm like, this guy's fucking. And he saw me at my worst, so he kind of like had another contest. He's like, listen, I'm going to a Tony Robbins event, right? And I have an extra ticket. It was $1,000 at the time, and I knew I could put $1,000, but not for that. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't my priority. So I told him again why. I won the ticket, and I'm like, cool, I'll see you there. And he's like, no, you're gonna do it by yourself. He's like, don't watch videos, don't watch nothing about him, just show up. It was in Jersey. There's 13,000 people there, and it was 4 days. I'm there by myself, like, what the fuck? Think about like you're in a concert for 4 days.
Yeah.
After the first day, you're like, yeah, this is fucking bananas. But I went there. I made a promise to him and myself that I would go with an open mind and go all in.
Yeah.
And so when I went, the first day is like breaking down a lot of your belief system. The things you think are true are really not. Second day is like building them up. Then you get a lot of techniques. You get some business. And last day is health. That in itself, like, it's another like mile marker. You know what I mean? The books, the getting clean, the Tony Robbins, not necessarily just him, but like the techniques, everything behind it, game changer. So much so I got home, and after my wife's like a couple weeks later, she's like, I don't know what the fuck happened to you. She loved me already, and I was like going in that direction of a great person, husband, father, everything, and businessman. But she was like, I don't know what the fuck happened to you, but like you changed. And she's like, I fucking like it. And then she's like, I want to go next year. I was like, okay, cool. So I bought her ticket. And then the following year I had a partner. So I always pay it forward. Whoever wants to kind of like really go,
Yeah.
I don't make nobody go. Like I buy their ticket. 1 year I brought like 30 people. That's my like give back. Because I hope that people could get in whatever personal development they do, whether it's him, whether it doesn't matter who it is, right? I really believe in people going out there and just being open-minded and changing, you know what I mean? So I'm always going to support that. But it was like one of the biggest game changers in my life.
That's incredible. When did businesses start for you?
My first business was a tattoo shop, as strange as that would sound, right?
Yeah, right.
I opened it in 2010. I wasn't clean yet.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity. My parents had a building. They had a store. I think they just wanted me to open something to keep their eyes on me. And just my mom kind of pushed me. Made no money, nothing. And I started getting high there, and it was like a typical old school tattoo shop.
Yeah.
But when I got clean, I had to get a job. I didn't have to. I chose to get a job to like the insurance for my son and shit like that. And I started focusing on that tattoo shop, and I started learning advertisement back then. So this is 2011. Facebook advertising and Google ads I was doing. There wasn't Instagram too much back then. And nobody else was doing it, so I started playing with it, a little bit of money. I owned the whole ad space in terms of tattoo shops. So all of a sudden, within a year, I was just like cranking. You know what I mean? My conversions were like the phone calls. I could track everything. We're 10 minutes outside of New York City. So New York City, you can't get tattooed technically, right, or legally if you're under 18. In Jersey, you could with parents' consent. So all of a sudden, I'm doing all these minors with their parents coming in because they can't do it. So when I started doing ads there, it just like really took off. And that was another pivotal moment, especially in business, where I was like, I actually like this, right? I know how to get leads. I know how to convert them. I know how to scale. I started getting into the reports, the KPIs and everything. I did that in 2000. My wife's a hairdresser. In 2016, my wife, we were buying a house, a 3-family. That was my first property. And opportunity popped up to open up a salon, a hair salon. And I didn't have the money, so I was like, I was under contract for the house. I was like, fuck it, let's use the down payment. Hopefully we get it back really quick after I build it out. Me and my buddies kind of built it out in 2 months. We opened, we were still under contract. I kind of like hustled, you know what I mean? Got that money back, and that was how I got into the hair industry with my wife.
And so 2016, and fast forward and take us through that journey of like, what does life look like for the last, 8 years? 2016 to 2024? So
what I learned in that year, so opening up a salon while buying, it was a 3-family that I lived in. And like at first I learned a lot of accounting because I had to get my shit together to get approved and do all this stuff. The other thing I learned was that being under pressure for me made me a lot more creative.
Yeah.
So I learned how to source capital. I learned how to put shit together. time management. You know what I mean? Like deadlines, stuff like that. It pushed me. So I did those two things. I'm like, fuck it, this is working well. What else? After that, and started buying more real estate in like 2018. Another multifamily. 2019, we opened up another salon. Me and no longer my partner at the time. He had a salon. We combined. Let's open up one salon.
Yeah.
We opened it up November. 3 months later, COVID happened in New Jersey. Everything got shut down. So we're like, fuck. So what we noticed in COVID. Now listen, from going to these seminars, personal development, everything, I didn't panic. I did nothing. I was like, I stopped. I reassessed, and I'm like, all right, cool. What could I do? Right? Like problem solving. So a lot of people were like selling their businesses, especially up north, selling their real estate, closing shop, wouldn't change. We were heavy on social media already. We converted that into like opportunity. So in that span from 2020 to 2022, bought 32 units of real estate, and I think we bought 6 salons. So people were selling them. I was doing owner financing. I was getting creative. So all these opportunities and all these things that happened where a lot of people were like, this is the end of the world. This sucks. For me, I was like, yeah, it is. But I was getting everything on the cheap. So the salons, I started doing acquisitions because now I would do my numbers and make sure it made sense. But I was doing acquisitions because they would come with employees, right? They would come with clients. I could look and see there's add value, right? Eventually, I would let them run as they are for like 6 months to a year, and then I'd convert them to like what our salon is. So once I did one of them and saw how profitable it was, and with low money down, I was like, cool, I could do this again, and I could do this again. And the same thing with the real estate. I started looking at bigger units. Instead of 3, there were 6. Then it became 10 units. Then it became 20 at a clip.
Wow. What are some of the lessons you would give to entrepreneurs listening right now? And I stopped saying young entrepreneurs just because I think everybody's a young entrepreneur if you're in your first 5, 10 years of building. Because I think the real building is building of self, and then everything else is a byproduct. Your business is a byproduct of self. But especially when guys get down into a big city, a major city like Miami, and they'll see the materials, they'll see the money, they'll see the fame, the lights, and they'll start to feel behind. Everybody feels behind. I've never met anybody that doesn't feel behind. But they start getting the shiny object syndrome, jumping from this, jumping to that. They lose their patience. And I think that they just need reminded always. What are your thoughts and tips on, the individuals that get distracted by the shiny objects?
Those people need to exist.
Yeah.
Like my focus, so there's listen, I was the same. You know what I mean? Like you either have to go through it and kind of figure it out, or you get like washed out by other people. I think we were saying that kind of before. So it's like what I learned was whatever I want, I go find somebody that's done it already.
Yeah.
I model it after them and then reverse engineer it. So somebody has this mansion on one of the Venetian Islands and he paid $20 million for it. Like I reverse engineer it. Cool. What's it going to cost? What's the down payment? What's the mortgage going to cost? What do I got to do to get it? It becomes a lot easier to do that. The other thing is like personal development, right? Like I spend hundreds of thousands a year doing it. Sometimes it's just getting in the room, seminars, coaching, Tony Robbins Platinum member. I was in Africa with everybody. You know what I mean? Like you also get close to these groups of people and it takes a while. Relationships take about 2.5 years to build. You meet somebody, cool. You see them more often, cool. Repetition, right? Like it takes a little bit. The other thing is just like discipline and perseverance. I know my buddy Jake, he's 27, 28, fucking monster. Like he inspires me. Kid's running every fucking day, working out, runs a business, has a team, doesn't really, I don't think he drinks. I want to say really because I don't know. Never seen him drink. Doesn't mess with girls like that. Doesn't, you know what I mean? Like he's so laser focused and he's way younger than me. I hit him up like, yo, that's what the fuck is up. So like, whether you're young, whether you're older, like you were saying, like you have to model it after what you want. If you want the flashy shit and everything, cool, listen, go get it. It comes with some consequences. You know what I mean? Like that lifestyle will eat you up and spit you out. I like nice shit. I got nice cars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I live a certain way, I fly a certain way, make sure my family's good. I just don't let it, I don't let it consume me. I don't drink. I don't get high, right? I'll smoke a cigar. We were just talking about cigars before. I'm very selective of who I hang out with. I'm cool. I'm cool with everybody, right? Like, I met you. We were just saying we were on his yacht, right?
Yeah.
You're one of the only ones I'm connecting with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you hustle, you do your thing, your energy more than anything. You're positive. I like the way you move. So I'm very selective of that. Money's the last thing I worry about, right? So if you're just fucking cool, I'll fuck with you.
Yeah,
it really, it's like when you're in high school, like, just be cool.
Just
man.
be cool, bro.
Don't be a fucking geek.
Yeah.
And listen, if you're a tech guy, cool, you're a tech guy. I don't mean it like that. I mean, just like, don't be goofy.
Yeah.
Right? Just be transparent, be honest. Don't try to gas anybody up.
Yeah.
People, like, I sense that shit right away. I'll say what's up, but after that, like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, they're, you know, my buddy says it like, I don't want to do transactional. I want to do relational.
Yeah.
Right? Transactional, like, I'll do them, but it's cool. One and done, and keep it moving.
And well, then you know what that relationship is. This is strictly business. There's no emotion, just motion. That's fire. Where do you think that discernment comes from? Because I like to reverse engineer my mind as well, and like try to like go back. And I feel like I see that in you, and like go back into the past and see what was my relationship with my parents like. How did it make me think the way that I think now with everything that I do? But I also look at like how I read people's energy and like how does that develop? You understand what I'm saying? Like that discernment of like looking at somebody. And I feel like for me, it's super valuable for me to quickly identify who's weird and who's just a cool motherfucker.
No, listen, absolutely. Look, plus I'm married, right? And I have kids. Like, I don't want that weird energy, we're gonna say, around me. Like, my wife's beautiful, you know what I mean? Like, you can be cool and successful. If I think you're fucking cringy, like, I'm not bringing my wife. I'm just being honest, you know what I mean? Because I want, it's not a self-confidence shit. I'm very confident, and so is she. I just don't want your energy.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, that's that. You were saying, looking back, a good analogy is like this. You got a rear view mirror in your car, right?
Yeah.
You just glance at it, right?
Yeah.
You can't stare at it.
Yeah.
What happens if you stare at it?
You get stuck in the past. You start.
No,
you start wrecking, bro.
You're gonna crash.
You're gonna crash.
You gotta look forward, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'll take some you know, glimpses into the past a little bit, but I've also learned this. So the trauma I had, right? Most of it was voluntary.
Yeah.
Right. It was self-inflicted. Regardless of what it is, I don't give it the name trauma. I'm just using that as an example. Second, I don't let it dictate who I am or who I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. It stops here. I take what I can from learning. Like, I don't want to be a victim, you know? There's some good stuff in there too. There's some lessons. Everything I go through now, listen, not everything it always works out, but in the moment it doesn't, right? So I look at it and I'm like, what's the lesson here? Really quick. What was my part? What could I have done differently? I don't do the blame game. I don't do initially I'll be like, fuck this motherfucker, right? But then, like, I'll do the self-inventory and see, like, what's really, where did I slow it up? And that's where I have an advantage sometimes, because a lot of people don't do that, and I won't repeat it.
Yeah.
Right? I'll be like, cool, maybe it was, you know, something legal. I didn't put my shit together.
Yeah.
Like, I just finished a lease for one of the retail stores I had, and I closed it. And at the end, I'm like, give my deposit back, right? Normal shit. And I have real estate. I know how it works and everything. And he goes, no, you owe me money for water. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, every utilities are included, something simple. And then he's like, you know, number 27, part A. And I'm like, this guy's good. And I was like, at first I was like, fuck you in my head, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm taking that shit. You know what I mean? Like, because I have retail, right?
Yeah.
Commercial. So, like, I get burned sometimes. And then I look at it, I'm like, that's what I paid for the lesson.
Yes.
I'm always like that. So, like, now I have a perspective of abundance, not scarcity.
1000%.
Not people are taking shit away from me. They're fucking me. Like, I'm not a victim, man.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like, I get to do this shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I could go back to do what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
You know?
I always tell my people that, dude, like, it's only a loss if you don't learn from it.
Absolutely.
It's the definition of insanity or stupidity. I think you could substitute both words out for the same exact, you know, scenario here is if you keep doing the same shit over and over again and you don't like the result that you're getting, you call it insanity, I call it stupidity, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and you always have to go back to yourself and like take responsibility. I feel like it's a reflection of maturity. You know what I mean? Like the more responsibility you take for your life, I think it reflects how mature you are and how serious you are about the life that you live.
Look, the people, I learned this in recovery, and then like you have to take responsibility and accountability for everything. You don't pick and choose.
Yeah.
You don't say, yeah, but not this. Like you got it. Once you take it all though, here's the magic. Ready? You know, like when people are like, you can't control everything, but now you can.
Yes.
You control how you react to everything.
Yes.
So as soon as something happens, I say to myself, and I'm like, I'll take the L on that one.
Yeah.
Even if you fucked me, I allowed it. I got too close. I didn't do my homework.
Yep.
I'll take the L on that one. What does that mean? Moving forward, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
Once you don't, like, not my fault. What you're saying is like, I couldn't do nothing and I won't do nothing and I'm still going to do the same thing.
Yep.
So once I change that, like now I fail fast and I'm like, I actually look forward fast. You were saying something about adversity. Like as soon as I see adversity, I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Let's fucking go.
Usually paralleled with opportunity.
Right into it because I'm going to handle it right away, take care of it, learn something. I'm so prepped and primed that something good's going to come from it.
Yes. I started writing down recently in the beginning of this year. I had a business partnership fall through, my first one. I don't know.
Popped your cherry.
Popped my cherry. I think you told me that too. I had a business partnership fall through. You're like, you popped your
Me
cherry.
too.
And was it you who was like, I've lost 3? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this shit happens again.
Yeah.
And I was a bitch for a second. Then I was like, what else did you pray for, bro? You know what I mean? Like, you want to be average or you want to be above average?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, there's levels to this shit. And I can't even imagine, you know what I mean? To get to the 8 figures, 9 figures and beyond, it's like, there's just a certain recipe you can't avoid. You know what I mean? If you take a shortcut, you're going to get cut short somewhere.
Absolutely.
You know, but I started writing this thing down at the beginning of the year, and I was doing affirmations hardcore when I was first out of high school and in sales. I don't do it every day now because it's like mentally my mind's programmed where I'll do it positively in my mind myself. But I started writing down I deserve it all. And it's not just positively, and I've been trying to teach it to my people as well. Like whatever your bank account says, you deserve that.
Absolutely.
Whatever your body looks like in the mirror, you deserve that. Whatever your mind, your development, your emotional reactions with your relationship, your girl, whatever it is, you deserve it all. And I've been writing that down and reminding myself and trying to show like all the individuals that I lead in the sales organization, like, dude, whatever you're going through, you deserve it. And you have like, and what's cool about that is when you take full ownership, you get to change it. You get to write your blank check of like, what's your body going to look like 90 days from now?
Well, that was my follow-up question to what you said, right? So it's like, I'll say it about me first. So it's like, cool, I got clean, you know, it's an automatic, you know, promotion and pay, benefits, everything, just because I'm not, and then I do some personal development, do some business. My issue was that a lot of my goals and my dreams and beliefs, I was hitting very quickly. So that means 2 things, like that means one thing. I wasn't setting high goals.
Yeah.
So goals are supposed to be here, right? And if you're reaching them every time, they're not good goals, right? And so like, not just materialistic, whether it's relationship goals, they're all relationship goals, business, marriage, friendships, they're all relationships, even relationship you have with materialistic things, right? So like, I had to put it here. Now I'm at the point in my life where I'm always removing barriers, right? And beliefs of what I can do. Like, cool, I'm like, I'm gonna get a private jet, right? Or just be on it all the time, whatever it was, right? I'm building something in Europe. Like, I want to fucking do the whole town, right? It's a small village where my dad was raised. Little by little, I'm itching there, right?
Yeah.
It's the affirmations. I'm sorry. It's the affirmations. It's the putting it out there. It's the execution of the work. My job is not to put my age, not to put people are younger, older. This is good enough. It's like, I'm really curious. Like, how fucking far can I go?
Yes.
Like, I want to hit the billionaire. Not because I want the money. Well, I do. But like, I want to hit it. Can I hit it?
Yeah.
Can this kid from Newark, New Jersey, who was strung out, got 18 felonies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Son born addicted, all this crazy shit, right? Everything stacked against him because I chose it.
Yeah.
Can he actually do that? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Now it's a deadline. When? Right? Then it's like, it's not, because it's not the how. The question to ask is the who.
Yes.
Who's going to get me there?
Yeah.
Not like a pass. So it's get in the room, get on the yacht, get on the plane, say yes, show up. You're going to be here? Bro, I was in fucking, you know where Zambia is?
Just sounds like Africa.
Yeah, that's about it, right?
Yeah.
You're like center, right?
Yeah.
I ended up there last year because I was like, and there, Zimbabwe.
That was through Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
I wanted to hit you with something on that. Keep going.
And I'm there with one of the founders of Zoom, very tight-knit, you know what I mean? Some others, because I said yes.
Yeah.
Cause ready, it costs a lot of fucking money.
That's what I want to talk.
All right. Well, like the whole program for the year, this is platinum, right? So like there's other levels. It was about $100,000. Then you got to pay for all your trips. Each trip is like 10 to 20 grand. You know what I mean? You got to pay for flight. We had the Emirates to Dubai there, fucking one of those planes where I think they spin the fucking propellers.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, it felt like a movie where there's chickens and shit. You know what I mean? All to say yes. Another time was in Idaho, Sun Valley. Ray Dalio was there. Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan was there. It was all finance seminar. I'm there with 100 people, you know? And you're just like, first I'm still like, acting like I know I'm supposed to be there, but I'm still like, is this a fucking drink? Like, shooting dope not too long ago. You know what I mean? Like, and it really quick. It's not like I have the confidence and everything, right? It's just a reminder, like, damn, you remember where the fuck you were at? And then I'm like, I'm supposed to be here. So now that, again, removing those barriers and beliefs, like I know I'm supposed to be here. Where else am I supposed to be?
Yeah.
Right? Who else am I? And the biggest thing too is like, I get a lot of fulfillment in helping people. So like, I like talking to people, like doing this with you, talking to you on the yacht that day, whoever comes up to me, because seeing other people fucking make it is like, you can't put a price on it. Like, you're like, yo, that's what's up.
It's better than any check.
Of course, man. That's fucking, you know.
It's better than any check.
Absolutely.
Dude, I love that you hit on the investment portion of the self-development, the networking, because I've spent probably a couple $100,000 over the last 6 years of going to different events, John Maxwell events. I went to probably 3-4 of those, and it's 20 bands a ticket. And I didn't understand it at first. I'm like, babe, my mentor told me at the time, of like, we got to go to this, we got to do this. And I'm sitting here thinking like, why would anybody spend 20 grand? We're just making this dude richer. Mm-hmm. And as I reflect on the years, it was really a small price that I paid for the value that I got out of not only the relationships, the development, more so the relationships. Because I remember hearing at one of the events once, it was actually from John Maxwell, and he was like, "What you don't get the leadership development when I'm going over here. What you get is you go up to people and you ask them, who do you know that I should know?" Mm-hmm. And then you get into that room and you get that blueprint, everything that you're talking about. And we're sitting here doing this, and we figure out, what are you doing I'm not doing? And like finding and identifying these different blind spots, and then you just put action behind it, and you find yourself saving 2-3 years. If you're a billionaire, you know what I mean, and you equate that, if you made $1 billion over the last 10 years, you know, you made $100 million plus over the last year. If you save yourself 2 years of time, you know, hypothetically, you save yourself $200 million. Yeah. You know, so I always look at it that way of like, because there's so many people have clowned me on like, man, you spent that much money doing an event. People. Wrong people.
You needed to hear that to know where you categorize those people too. It's like,
very quickly.
Listen, I'm over here. You're either coming or you're not. If you think that's it, that's cool. I know where I'm spending my time. So you're getting access to a Rolodex of people, right? It's probably, I'm aging myself saying that, right? But like their network of people. The other thing, the line I like is like, I write a check for speed.
Yes.
So like, how do I speed up the process?
Yes.
Pay the 20 bands. Yeah. Pay the 50 stacks. Pay the 100. It needs to be scary. I need to feel it.
Yeah.
I need to be like, oh, fuck. So like, damn. So I got to pay 100 stacks. And then every time I fly out, it's on my dime. Then I got to leave my business and everything for 2 weeks in Africa and shit don't work, and my family, and explain it to them. So yeah, the pressure, the oh shit.
Yeah.
Is this the right thing? Just say yes. Fuck. So what happens in all that too, it's not just information. That experience that put me through is like, now I've done it.
Yeah.
Now I know how to move like that. It preps me and gets me ready and primed for the bigger things coming. Cool. You and I both had a couple partners, right? They don't work out. They're not supposed to. Those are practice for us to get to the big partner or the big investor, right?
Yeah.
Or the, you know, if you're going to exit one day, whatever the fuck it is, right? So like, once you start looking at it, like, all right, this is the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own journey, but like, once you understand that, you pay to play, you write a speed for check, your whole thing is to procure the funds and the capital to allow you to do that stuff.
Yeah.
I've never regretted one seminar, one person, like they're all different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some I got invited to, some I went. I go there with learning something. I don't ever go anywhere and be like, that was a waste of time. If it was, it's because I didn't go in there in the right state of mind, right? With gratitude and wanting to learn something.
1000%. As we start to wrap up, what are you most excited for in the future? I'm not a like this by this age, this by that age, because I'm more of like, I'm just 24/7, and I find a lot of guys are like that. But like, what are you most excited for over the next couple of years, over your future?
Me personally, like I want to build. You know what I mean? I want to build a legacy. I want to make sure my kids' kids are good, right? I'm gonna get more into that, into the building a trust, putting a fund together. In terms of that, I want to leave legacy, not just in the sense of money, but like I want to make impact.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be more specific too, because that's just like a lot of people say that shit. So in Portugal, I was born here, but my parents are there. I go there all the time. Every summer, I'm there for the month with my family. It's a small village, bro. It's like medieval times, right? No Wi-Fi, nothing like that. Everything's in stone. So I'm building over there something cool. That's the legacy here. Here, I want to build not only a real estate portfolio, like I want to build a fucking tower.
Yeah.
Just fucking because, right? I want to build an 80-story, 100-story tower. I want the skyline to change. I want that type of impact. And then I just want to be always transparent with who I am, and just be able to be a resource to help other people, right? At first, my story, especially back then, like, you know, you don't really, back then you wouldn't tell people you were getting high, never mind you got clean, right? Because you'd be like, they look at you a certain way.
Yeah.
It's an asset, right? I know people hit me up all the time if I could help in other ways. My purpose is to make a lot of money, but to be able to give back.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just want to I want my son to see me, like, right now he's 13, right? So, of course, I'm his model, I'm his idol, everything.
Yeah.
And then it's going to change. That's just like what it is. Then he's going to fucking hate me. And in the 20s, 30s, he's going to be like and my daughter too. I want to make sure when I leave this life, there wasn't a fucking ounce. Like, I want to leave like I did it all.
Yeah.
I really want to.
Exhausted.
Yeah, exhausted. Took advantage of this life. You know, I OD'd a couple times. You know, like I used to say, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be here, and so I'm not going to be mediocre, and I'm going to take full fucking advantage of whatever the fuck it is, and just like take this to another fucking level, man.
It's the only way to live.
know,
It's the only way to live.
I'm excited about life.
Yeah.
I wake up every day with gratitude.
Have to.
I end it with gratitude. I get to get pulled over.
Yeah.
I get to get stopped.
That was a fire post.
Yeah.
That was a whole post.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, our girl looked at it and she was like, man, look how fire this shit is.
I get to
do this
but
shit,
but it's true, like,
yeah.
bro, luxury problems, man.
Yeah.
Like, people complain too much about some bullshit.
Insane. My girl's from Israel, and she'll, like, every other day she'll wake up and be like, yo, there was bombs that dropped last night, and we'll call the family, everybody good and everything. And it just puts so much into perspective. I remember pouting, being a victim, like, for a moment, like, what are we talking about? We're in America. You know what I mean? Like, we get to get all of this.
I was with my buddy Arbor, right, yesterday, and today I had a little breakfast with him too. Awesome dude. So he's like, you know, the next president and shit like that. I'm like, does it really matter? He goes, it does. And I'm like, and that's my homie, right? He's like, it does and everything. And I'm like, and listen, he's a Trump guy, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm not the other one. I'm just telling you that.
I was gonna say, we're gonna. Have
I'm just saying, like, he's a fervent Trump guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, and when I'm like, what happened when Biden got elected? You guys were like, it's the end of the world, and he's like, yeah, it's bad. I'm like, bro, what kind of car do you drive? He's like, I got a 458 Ferrari. You know what I mean? And I'm like, where do I got houses here? I'm like, is it really? But that, like, is it really that bad? Is it that bad? Like the scare tactic. I'm like, I'm gonna do good. Again, ready? You take accountability and responsibility for everything.
Yeah.
Not what outside shit does.
Yeah.
Will it affect in certain ways? Yeah. But, like, listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't listen to that noise.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to people on social media, whether it's very famous people. Like, I don't. Like, I'm very focused, driven. I understand. I go
Laser
with
focus.
energies. I take responsibility for myself, and I take responsibility for anything in my circle and accountability.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't let outside sources fucking spook me into making bad decisions.
Yeah. You
If
can't.
shit's fucked up, you know what happens? I start buying everything
Yeah.
on the cheap. Be scared. Run away. Go.
Yeah.
Make it difficult. So it's perspective. Perspective and gratitude. A mix of both.
Yeah. This was fire. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that's it, man. Listen, I really appreciate you putting me on the podcast. You know what I mean? You got a great message. I love seeing young people like you fucking go after it.
Appreciate it.
You're like in tune. You know, you got a great relationship with your girl and everything.
Yeah.
And just keep fucking going and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Means a lot, dog. Means a lot. Hey guys, make sure you go check out. It's Chops of Phil.
Yep, Chops to Phil, man. CHOP_SAFIL. Follow me. I'll follow you back. Appreciate you guys, man.
Let's go. Peace out.